Hey everyone, it's Patty from PS Paper Crafts. Today I'm going to make this really pretty card. It's a Christmas card and it has copper foil paper, and the designer series paper has copper in it. So it's really pretty, very rich looking. I'm using the Toile Christmas Set. I'm just using this branch and the sentiment. And then the branch actually cuts out with this, and so does the sentiment. So these are the coordinating dies that go with it. You can cut out the bird, the different sentiments, and then some extra leaves and this. And I'm going to color this with my Stampin' Write markers. So I just wanted to show you the paper. It's really pretty, and these are the papers. And one side is called the Brightly Gleaming Specialty Designer Series paper. So one side has the gold, and then the other side doesn't have the not gold, copper on it. So it's really beautiful. It's very rich. I love the Night of Navy. I love this. This coordinates with the stamp set and punch. So it's really beautiful papers. Both sides are beautiful. I love the copper though. It's really shiny and shimmery and just very gorgeous. So that's that. Let's get started with our pieces here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp this stamp set, and I'm going to color with my Stampin' Write markers. Now these markers are the water base. They're not the Stampin' Blends. They're not the alcohol base, because you do not want to color on your stamp with the alcohol markers. So these are the old-fashioned Stampin' Write markers. So you're just going to color, and I'll just get started and then I'll speed it up. And I'm going to actually do 2 of these. So I may just stop it after I do the first one. We'll see what we do. So I'm going to speed it up now. Okay, so the colors I used are Early Espresso, Real Red, and Mossy Meadow. And now I'm going to breathe on this so that the parts that are a little dry, because it took me a while, get moistened again. So they call this huffing on it, but I'll breathe on it. So once you breathe on it, you're just going to stamp it down. Isn't that pretty? It just has the whole thing. So I'm going to do this again. I'll speed it up. Okay, ready to huff on it. Stamp her down. Beautiful. So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to run it through my die. And actually, before I do that, I'm going to also stamp my sentiment so I can run that through. And the sentiment is, I did it in the Mossy Meadow, but I think this time I'm going to do it in Real Red. So let me just clean it off with my stamp cleaner here. My chamois. It looks terrible, but it does a great job cleaning. It gets stained, but it doesn't come off on the stamp. So I'm going to use Real Red and see how that looks, just to give it a little bit more of a pop of color. We'll see what that looks like. Just stamp this right down. I love that this has a coordinating die. What do you think? I don't know. Maybe I'm going to stick with the green. I think I like the green better. So it's always good to try different things, but I think I do like the green. So let's clean it again. I do a lot of just trial and error. I mean, and then I make the card and then I show it to you guys. But I do a lot of like putting papers together and trying to see what I like that will go well together. So I'm going to just flip this over, use the same strip, if you like the red better, you could definitely do the red. Okay, it's a very dark green, the Mossy Meadow, but I do like it. It took me a while to get used to it. So I'm going to use this die, and you have to make sure you have it the right way. And I'll use this, and I'm going to cut this out twice. So I'm going to step away, do my big shot, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. I cut this out. Perfect, right? And then no fussy cutting here. I cut these out. So I have this one and this one. And I think these are just beautiful. And let me just get my little tool out here. And it looks like I have a little piece in here. So it's nice that it cuts all around the inside and everything. Perfect. So these were a little bit long for what I wanted to do. So let me get my scissors, which I just had, here they are, and cut these down a bit. So I'm going to cut it right about here, and then I'm going to cut this off. So I use these as separate pieces, and I thought it was just too long for where I had it. You could even cut them down further if you wanted to move the berries around. And let's get our card pieces out. So this is that designer series paper, and then I did use gold foil paper. Now I'm going to leave this as a sheet for this video, but if you were doing something with this, you can always use the inside. You can cut out the inside, and then when you layer it, you won't even know it's missing. Because this, you only get 2 sheets in a pack, so you wanted to stretch it longer, you can do that. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this down and use my liquid glue. This is pretty hefty, and it's pretty. The other thing is, if you're die cutting with this, try to cut it as small as you can so that you don't get scratches on it. It's a little bit, I wouldn't say delicate, but if you have old plates, sometimes they leave an impression on what you're putting through. And this will pick it up easier or faster than if you were just using cardstock. So that's just a little tip. And then I'm going to add this, and all my dimensions and everything will be on my blog, pspapercrafts.com. So I have to make sure I use the right one. One is the inside and one is the outside. So the smaller one will go right on here. So let's put this on the side here and line it right up. Okay, and then we can adhere this down here. And once you have everything cut out, I think the coloring of the stamp is probably the longest on this, but I think the effect is just beautiful, so it's worth it. And you can do that with any of your stamps. It works really good on the red rubber stamps. So you can get different colors if you wanted, like May Your Days Be what one color and Merry and Bright a different color, or this inside a different color. You can do all kinds of things with the markers, but again, they can't be the blends. They have to be the water-based, the Stampin' Write markers. So let's see where we want to place these. Kind of just lay them out, figure it out, and then we'll glue them down, and I'll put the sentiment on with dimensionals. So I just like to get an idea. I don't have any fingernails to pick things up with. And I'm only going to put the glue on the bottom. I'm not going to go all the way out. I like to have my branches and kind of leafy things where they aren't attached at the top, a little bit free flowing there. Just make sure this looks okay. Where do we want these other leaves? So you just kind of play with it and get it to where you like it. My dog is snoring next to me. I hope you can't hear him. If you do, it's not me, it's my dog. And get this guy down. you hear that? I'm sorry. He's a Boston Terrier and he snores. He's got that kind of snout that's good for snoring. When I have my card classes, he always snores about 3 o'clock. I have him in the kitchen. Everybody's like, oh, it must be 3 o'clock. Bailey's snoring. So that's how we tell time. So I'm going to just put these on. I'll put a bunch on. Make it nice and secure. It's probably way too many, but that's okay. These dimensionals are so cheap. It's worth it to just put a lot on. Oh, I have a little bit of glue on my fingers, so I think I'm getting it stuck on different things. I love the liquid glue, but I do usually get a little bit on me. One more. Boy, I really did put a lot on here. Okay, so let's put this down. Now you could put some little rhinestones or something. I thought it was pretty because of the copper, as it is. And then on the inside of this one, I did this again, and I put this this season be filled with beautiful moments and happy memories for you and those you hold most dear. So I'm going to do the same thing. And I was going to do it in red, but I'm going to do it in the Mossy Meadow, just to keep it in line with the outside sentiment. And then I'm going to do that same thing where I color on the stamp and stamp it. Only I'm only going to do the top part of it. So I'm going to speed this up again, but I'm going to do the same exact thing that I did before. I think I got a little bit of brown where I want red. So I'm just going to go over these berries again. Okay. I probably went down a little bit further than I was planning on it, but that won't hurt anything. These leaves probably won't even come into the picture. Well, I guess one did, so better to be safe, right? And then you could put them up here as well, like a smaller bunch of them, something like that. So I think this is good. We will put this on the inside. Looks like I need to add a little bit of brown, just branch to that leaf. Whoops, that's the one already done. Let's do this one. So I'm just going to add, I'm going to use the thin part of this, just try to, there you go. Good enough. Let's put the cap on here. So these are the two cards. I think they're really pretty. They're a little simple, but I think the copper is just so beautiful. So anyway, thanks for joining me, and come back again for the next video. You have a good day. Bye.